Hello everyone. So here I am for the book review, and the book is this time is Thomas Hardy's Under the Greenwood Tree. Yes. So just to put to your knowledge, this is the book. This is the second published book by Thomas Hardy in 1872, and it was initially anonymously published. Obviously, because Thomas Hardy was not that popular in that time, and also it is the first one in the Wessex series novel. And just to that Wessex series is basically, the Wessex is the setting which he opted and chose for his novels to represent the life of countryside, and also to just show us a glimpse of the rural life, that what kind of societies live there, and how they deal with the localities, and how they deal with the problems and hardships that eventually come in their life. And so also, this Under the Greenwood Tree has a subtitle which inclines toward the life of Melstock Choir. Melstock Choir, basically a group of people who have some instrumental skills, and they basically perform during Christmas, and they by singing especially Christmas carols at church and also at people's houses. And also, this novel is considered as the happiest novel. So first to clear, I'm not here for the plot and the synopsis, because that is the most common thing you can ever find on internet. And also, I personally believe that there is 90% more than the plot and the characters about a novel, because it has some hidden themes, it has some symbols, it has some qualities, it has some understandings which need to be clear to the readers beforehand. And also, they experience a special kind of feeling. They experience a special kind of connection which ultimately lead them to intertextualize the text which they have read. So this is basically my I guess my third Thomas Hardy read of this month, or this, like, I have been reading Thomas Hardy, nothing but Thomas Hardy, from 2 months. And I would say that, yeah, I've been a Thomas Hardy reader. Like, I have during my beginning of my reading career, I have picked him, and I was like, the moment I read his The Mayor of Casterbridge, and I got totally fascinated by his writing. But also, I would say, in between my masters and during my masters, I had to focus on a lot more than that, only because Thomas Hardy was just a topic back then, and I had to focus on many writers and many poets. Especially, Thomas Hardy was also a poet. So many of us, a very few of us know this, but he has been a very great poet, but he is popularly known for his tragic novels. And yeah, this is not a tragic novel, although it has its phases where the characters here face a lot of hardships and difficulties, and they had their repercussions because of their we can say that their swift actions and their lack of understanding about life, and like life in general and society in general. So yeah, okay, I'm not here to talk about the plot, and I am basically so much into the storyline and the plot which Thomas Hardy has to offer, but also the vocabulary which he uses, and also the very picturesque element his novel reflects to its readers. That is the most fascinating thing you can find over here. But okay, so if I get to compare this book from with his other books and other novels, other popular novels, this one is lacking some swift, we can say, some very minute qualities. If I say the vocabulary, that is too good, but still it has that lacking of seriousness in the narration, we can say. And also, the narrator, being the omniscient narrator, he is still, I cannot totally rely on him, I feel, because the narrator is definitely hiding certain things, I felt, while reading this. So I would recommend to you, I would highly recommend it to you guys, that you also have to try this once. Because okay, so I also opted for this because the moment I got to know that this is one of the happiest work by him. And happiness is something, and the very jovial thing is something which is not to be associated with Thomas Hardy, because being known as the tragedy king, we cannot expect anything from him other than tragedy. But this one has a happy ending, so I would like to stick on that. But this I rated it as 4.4 stars for me, because I have read better. Obviously, when it comes to Thomas Hardy, I have his The Mayor of Casterbridge. I have read his The Return of the Native, and most recently The Woodlanders, which is my personal favorite so far. But I know I'm going to read is A Pair of Blue Eyes and Far from the Madding Crowd, and on top of that, The Test of D'Urberville, which is going to be the topmost novel by him. So okay, so if I talk about a little bit more about this Under the Greenwood Tree, so I would say this is an okay-ish read, and the story basically follows a young member of the very Melstock choir, who is Dick Dewey, and he eventually falls in love with a schoolmistress, Fancy Day. And although their story, which I already am telling you now, that they eventually have a happily ever after, they lead to that extent, but they also had their struggles. They also had to face a lot of societal pressure as the moment comes when they got secretly engaged, and they had to hide this relationship from the parents and the society. And being a young member of the choir, and also being in a position, or we can say that having a standard which is not ultimately leading you to some successful career or some successful position, you really have to face a lot. And Dewey is none other than the guy which I'm talking about. And also, being a schoolmistress, the life is kind of very it's not fair for her. Fancy Day, the heroine, the very heroine we have, and she is basically someone who is I found that she is not very blatant and not very expressive with her feelings. That's why she has to ask her lover to confess things and to ask for things which she eventually also wanted. And eventually, but okay, so if ends well, so everything goes well. So yeah, it ended on a very good note. But I am a little bit disappointed with the things which I already told you, that this is not totally at all comparable with his other works. But okay, I've given it a 4.4 stars, so I would think it like, okay, it's kind of a consolation read for me. But okay, so to end my Thomas Hardy Readathon, now I would like to switch on to my thrillers. So I am most probably going to pick Agatha Christie either, or I am going to pick one of Freda McFadden's sequential book, which I left in between, and I feel terrible about that. So yeah, okay. And this is the review which I was talking about. And thank you for bearing me for this long. And yeah, stay tuned for more updates, more reading updates from my side. Thank you.